My channel recently passed 500,000 subscribers, and that is a huge reason to celebrate. As you can see, I'm currently partying in beautiful
public restroom.
As a thank you to you guys for supporting me over the years, I'm doing something that I've never done before. Throughout the history of my YouTube channel, there's only been one video that I've ever finished making but never released. It's a review of the game Africa Trail that I finished on May 10th, 2017. I remember being really stressed out at the time and just dissatisfied with the video when I was done. It wasn't funny enough, or it wasn't interesting enough. I feel that way a lot when I work on my videos, but this is the only time it got to me so bad that I just didn't post it. And so it sat on a hard drive all this time without me even giving it a second look. Until now. In celebration of hitting the big 500K, I present to you my review of Africa Trail. Now, this is an older video, so be prepared for increased levels of adult language and general rudeness. Okay, thank you guys for all the support over the years, and I hope you enjoy the video.
I've not seen such bravery.
On this channel, I've already talked about the Oregon Trail, the Yukon Trail, and the Amazon Trail, and you might be thinking that I've run out of trails to talk about, but nope. Africa Trail, and nothing quite says Africa like a white dude on a bike. This game was released in 1997, the same year that Oregon Trail 3rd Edition was released. I was pleasantly surprised with Oregon Trail 3, so I'm open to the idea of being pleasantly surprised by Africa Trail. I mean, I'm not holding my breath or anything.
Are you ready for a challenge of a lifetime? Can you ride your bicycle the entire length of Africa, a continent 3 times bigger than United States?
Wow, someone must have put hours of work into this very PowerPoint-esque intro.
You will see beautiful and fascinating places, including the vast Sahara Desert.
Well, hey there, you want to see something beautiful and fascinating? Well, check out this desert. There's sand and... sand? The intro continues to make some pretty big promises. Apparently we're going to meet some extraordinary people, and our journey is going to be extreme and always exciting, which I'm sure we're all well aware is bullshit. Even the intro to the Oregon Trail 2, which was released 2 years earlier and had a similar PowerPointy style, was way better than this. Someone clearly phoned this one in.
It's time to go. Hop on your bike and set out on the Africa Trail.
Like other trail games, our goal in Africa Trail is to get from point A to point B without falling victim to something horrible. Unlike other trail games though, we're not making a historic journey to relocate our family, a historic journey to take part in the gold rush, or even a journey to please a mystical jaguar god, or whatever Amazon Trail 2 was about. No, the exciting story we found ourselves in Africa Trail is that we're going to challenge the actual 12,000-mile world record-setting bike trek. And maybe, just maybe, through hard work and perseverance, we can break that long-distance biking world record, and maybe I'll even learn how to care about long-distance biking world records, because right now, I don't even care enough to look up what the current long-distance biking world record is. I mean, I'm assuming it's longer than it was when this game was made, but I'm not looking that up. I'm gonna be attempting to bike from Lagos to Nairobi because it seems like the shortest distance that I can bike. I guess that means I've given up on the world's longest bike trek thing before I even started. The good news is that we do have teammates in this game. It'd be pretty disappointing if we didn't. Let's meet our 6 possible teammates, keeping in mind that we can only choose 3. First up is Charles Cuffey, MD. He's a medical doctor with the special skill of keeping people healthy, which I think would be a standard skill for a doctor. He bikes to work every day, has traveled to West Africa, isn't an adventurous eater, and likes to talk about mosquitoes, I guess. Next up is Jessica Jazzy Hart. I mean, do we really need to know anything more about her? I don't care that her only special skill is sharing what she knows about the natural world, whatever that means. Just look at how jazzy she is. Here we have Kimani Wanaina. Sorry about butchering your name there, buddy, but I'm sure you don't mind. Oh, well, that's embarrassing. Maybe we'll have more luck with, you know, I wish everyone had a really cool nickname, like Jazzy. Or at least that there were some voice clips of these bikers introducing themselves. Me being terrible at pronouncing names aside, it's hard to get a good feel for someone's personality when all you see of them is a picture, a lame special skill, and a quote from Helen Keller. I'm looking at you, Dan. This is basically like using Tinder to form a bike brigade, and if I knew anything about Tinder, I'd probably tell a hilarious joke about it right here, but I'm out of touch with today's dating trends. All I know is that you swipe it. Kids today always want to swipe things. I've settled on taking the guy that can keep me alive, the jazziest biker I've ever seen, and Conrad, because he says don't leave home without me, and I can't really tell if that's a threat or not, so I'm just gonna be safe because I don't want to get wrenched. That's his nickname, by the way. His nickname is Wrench. So now we need to buy some spare bike parts, which is about as fun as, well, buying spare bike parts. Not that I've ever bought spare bike parts before, I have no idea what any of this is. What's the difference between a chain and a chain ring? Why do I need a bottom bracket but not a top bracket? Shouldn't the freewheel be free? The fuck is a derailleur? Lagos is one of the fastest growing cities in the world, and if you played this in a classroom, I guarantee that you didn't read past that sentence. This screen is so boring. In fact, look, our teammates aren't even convinced that this is gonna be any fun. Well, except for Wrench, but I still just don't trust that guy. Who okayed this screen anyway? Is that me? Am I the cola nuts? To get more dialogue options, you click the More Talk button. I feel like that could have been rephrased. Anyway, let's just get out of here. I'm ready to hit the trail. How is this the travel screen? I don't understand. It's like they saw Oregon Trail and were like, yeah, let's do this, only let's make it look like our game exists entirely on one of those mini dentist office cups. And so I biked. From Lagos to Ajimbamdale, to Benin City and Onitsha, Nikalgu. Basically just a bunch of places I wish the game would help me pronounce. So far, none of this information seems to be relevant at all. No matter the road condition, weather, or temperature, our bike team seems to just move forward without a problem. In fact, that line is moving much faster than I expected it to. We're pretty fast. Jazzy is even feeling good enough to give us this hot tip. Did you know that in Africa, buying foods in markets is probably less expensive than eating it at restaurants? Wow, no way! I feel like I'm learning so much about the unique ways of life in Africa. Finally, our bike squad makes it to the Cameroonian border, but we don't have visas? We have to go back to Lagos where we started? Gee, I sure wish one of my experienced in traveling bike partners had mentioned this to me before now. In fact, I wish the game had told me anything at all about visas, but aside from a tiny little button that says visas that takes you to a screen with no information at all, the Africa Trail developers apparently thought it was a great idea to just not let me know about it until it was too late. I guess we'll just backtrack and... This is Nigeria. It's a good thing we bought visas? Okay, so the game is sending me some mixed signals about the visas here. Apparently we both bought them and didn't buy them. And you know what, last time I checked, this was a game that was supposed to teach me about Africa, but instead I'm stuck sitting here trying to figure out Schrodinger's passport. And so we backtracked. We pedaled and pedaled, retracing such a long stretch of road that one might think, hey, this is really stupid that we're having to do this right now. I suppose I could have just started over, but that would have really messed up my immersion in this incredibly realistic and engrossing game. Now that we're back in Lagos, I can buy some visas. I'm just gonna buy them all. I have no idea which ones we're going to need, and I'm smart enough to not expect the game to tell me. And so we're off. Again, trekking right back through Ajimbamdale and all those other places I can't pronounce. Oh, you have a flat rear tire. I hope you can fix it because if you can't, you'll end up walking. Jeez, what a dick. You know, Wrench, you could give me a hand, Mr. Conrad's the name and fixing bikes is my game. Anyway, I'm not using too much brain power on this game. Problems for our team start popping up, and would you believe that they're less interesting than problems faced on the Oregon Trail? Even the sound effect is boring. I mean, compare this to this. Yeah, it only gets worse from there. Instead of wagons tipping over, people getting shot accidentally, and death by dysentery, we've got flat tires, bruises, the horror, flat tires, and worn down brake pads, which are somehow less exciting than flat tires. Eventually, our doctor breaks his wrist, and I'm finally presented with what seems to be my first real choice aside from picking out my teammates. I mean, most of the problems so far have been taken care of by either repairing or replacing a bike part. And of course, I'm gonna make him keep biking with a broken wrist. I think anybody who watches my videos knows that that's the decision that I was gonna make. If I'm stuck riding a bike across Africa, I'm sure as hell not gonna let the guy who's supposedly keeping me healthy go home. Not to mention that sending someone home is super lame. We've gone from having to decide whether or not to bury our dead travel companions to deciding whether or not a broken wrist is grounds to take a sick day. Well, you know what? On my team, it's not. I mean, unless it's my wrist. The only problem I seem to be having, though, is that my bike is basically falling apart. I've got some squeaky brake pads, not to mention an equally squeaky teammate. Just get over it, Doc. Rub some dirt on that broken wrist, it'll be fine. I swear, I've had so many flat tires that I'm starting to get suspicious that someone is doing it to me on purpose. But you know what? Bring it on, team. I can just keep fixing my bike, no problem. Oh. Well, this doesn't bode well for my trip across Africa, but it does bode well for my not wanting to play this game anymore. So that's all I'm gonna play of Africa Trail, I think. Like I said before, this game's age is not an excuse for how boring it is. It's clear that they just phoned this one in and tried to cash in on the Trail brand. Out of all the Trail games that I've played so far, this one was the least entertaining, by far. You would learn more and have more fun by just reading the Wikipedia page on Africa. Seriously, it speaks volumes that the most interesting thing to happen to me was an unexpected heap error. Yeah, it's a heap, all right. Heap of shit.